This is Danny Faisenfeld.
Yeah.
Danny Faisenfeld is the one who had the herniated disc that was nearly occluding. Nearly occluding.
Yeah, there's about 5 millimeters of my spinal canal apparently left. Yeah.
Space for your lower end of your spinal cord.
Yeah, and I have gone through. I had gone through a series of about probably a year of trying everything under the sun. My problem continued to worsen, and one night it was so severe that I got up and went to a friend's house and just asked for their help, and through some swaying they got me into the guy who was the original director of the Spine Institute at Cedars-Sinai. He now has a gigantic building down in Beverly Hills, and there are floods of people that go in and out of there and have surgeries on a consistent daily basis. So I went to see this guy, and my expectation, all reputation around the city was that even the physicians I asked, if anyone's going to cut up my back, this is the guy to go to. So I went to Dr. Goldstein's office, and he took a look at my MRI, and he said, this is a really bad MRI. This is not good. And how long has this been going on? And I think you have Cauda-Equina syndrome, or the beginnings of it, and we need to be aggressive with this. And it was determined that I must go to surgery right away. Well, in the process of that, workers' comp decided to deny the surgery because they figured, hey, he's gone this long, why not screw with him a little more? So they denied the surgery about 12 hours before he cut me open. And Dr. Goldstein called me and said, look, I've never seen anything like this, but and I've been in this practice for about 30 years, but the adjuster is not allowing the surgery to go forward, and you need to know that I'm going away for my 3-week annual vacation. So here's a list of neurologists at Cedars-Sinai in case you have an emergency, which your case is right on the hinges. I'm really sorry about that. And all credit to Dr. Goldstein. He was very nice. He did go out of his way to help me in that week, to get the surgery at least. But then he was gone, and I was left wondering what to do next. Went to a party, ran into a producer that I work with. She said, have you heard of Dr. Brian Bronk? I said, look, I've heard of Dr. Brian Bronk, but I'm done. I've got to have surgery. She said, Danny, I would try it. Just try one more thing. I said, I've tried everything. I've done chiropractics. I don't need another chiropractor. I've done acupuncture. I've done physical therapy. I've prayed. My back is still bad, and it's getting worse, and I have to have surgery. And I'm not excited about it. I want to try something else, but there can't be anything that's going to fix this. I've tried it. I went to my attorney and I said, look, I want to get out of this workers' comp situation, because he said, all right, well, first thing you have to do is you have to go see their doctor. I said, why do I have to see their doctor? Well, they're fighting your case. I said, what? So I go see their doctor. Guy sits me down. He said, I'm supposed to be here to defend workers' comp and try to make it look like you don't need this surgery. But Danny, I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Cedars-Sinai, and this is one of the worst MRIs I've ever seen. If you have 13 millimeters of spinal canal left, when we look at an MRI, we consider that an emergency situation. You don't have 13 millimeters left. You have 5, which means you could literally sneeze and be paralyzed for life. I said, can we just get another MRI? You don't need another MRI. Would it be possible? Would you at least just consider giving me one? He said, all right, I'll look into it. Comes back into the office. He said, okay, we got it for you. What the second MRI said was that my herniation was not at the L5-S1 level, but it was actually at the L4-L5 level. Instead, when I went in to see Dr. Goldstein, he came into my office and shook my head and said, congratulations, you must be feeling better. I said, sir, no disrespect, but I really feel about the same. He said, really? I said, really?
Well, you were going in to see Dr.
Yeah, so Dr. Goldstein said, well, congratulations, you must be feeling better. And I said, actually, sir, I'm not. I kind of feel the same. He said, well, really? Because I got your second MRI here, and it appears that the bulge in your disc has gone down substantially. There is still a slight bulge there, but surgery is not, it's not absolutely necessary. It may become necessary at some point. I said, well, I still kind of feel the same. He goes, He goes, well, tell me what you feel. I said, well, I have all symptoms in my legs, symptoms in my groin, symptoms in my back. I said, okay, well, what's the next step? He said, well, I'm going to talk to your adjuster, and if I can get okay from the adjuster to get paid, we'll get you a shot of an epidural steroid, and that should at least alleviate some of your pain for a while. Okay? Have a great day. So I'm left here thinking, wow, my best shot, if he gets the finances, is to get epidural steroids, which anybody knows in the market, they limit to 3 or 4 annually, even for professional athletes, because the facts is that it breaks down the tissues in your body. It actually weakens the joints. It is a horrible, horrible drug to put in you, and we administer those and pump those into people's bodies like they're candy these days. That was the last thing in the world I wanted, but I was open to it. So I went home thinking, okay, I'm in the same position I've been in for a year, almost a year now. I've tried everything, and at the end of the day, Dr. Goldstein, before he left the office, said, Danny, what you need to know about my profession, there are absolutely no certainties. So he affirmed for me what my experience showed, which was the Western medicinal practice operates from a series of educational guesses. There are very few absolutes. Yet, for the perpetuation of the financial industry of the Western medical practice, and for the assurance of people who are patients who come in and want their fears alleviated, the presentation is that we know what we're talking about. But the reality is quite different, particularly in the area of the spine. And so I went out and said, okay, there are no answers. I've tried everything that I am aware of within the Western medicinal practice that I can pursue. My back is still the same, and I'm screwed. And something in me, about 2 months later, said, you know what? 2 people have come in your path and have expressed or have pointed me in the direction of at least talking to one more person, and that's Dr. Brian Brown. I'll try it. So I called Brian up, we made an appointment, walked into his office, and the minute he laid his hands on me, I knew that I had found the solution. I knew because I had experienced and tried enough things to know when something was different. And how I felt when I got off the table that first time, I had not felt that with anything else. So I continued to see Brian for about 8 sessions, and by the end of the 8th session, I was functioning as if I had not even had to go through a back disorder. I was able to walk, the pain in my leg was gone, the pain in my groin was gone, and what I realized was that there was an answer, and that all of my research and all of my finding and all of my experience, which speaks a lot louder than what you'll read, was that this was the solution. And so I stand here as a testament, not for another good thing to try, but as a testament that from experience, from education, what we are doing for back disorders, for spine disorders in this country, in this Western practice, is not the solution. We are continuing to feed financially a market. We are continuing to pay people's bills to keep offices open by lying to people. There is solutions for the back that do not require surgery, that not only make people feel better, but actually fix the problem. And I believe that that is what Brian is onto, and I believe that it will defeat the mentality. It will defeat the practice of, and it will re-educate and re-establish the solution for back and spine disorders within the next couple of years.